Good afternoon and happy Friday to you. Hope you're well. This is Jack from Authentic Artists and Orate, and I'm coming to you to talk about your week and how it's been and what have you achieved and all that good stuff. One thing I wanted to talk about today was ego. And the reason I want to talk about ego is because there's some things to say about it that sometimes we're not fully aware of, and that is particularly if I'm coaching artists, musicians, songwriters in something like networking. The thing they'll say to me is, I don't want to come across as arrogant. And if you're in professional sales, people will also sense if you're coming to a conversation with a persona. This is how I sell, this is how I've got to be able to do this. That is something people pick up on very quickly, and you will too if you've ever experienced that. I'm sure you have. So understanding how we show up and why we show up in terms of doing that thing, the networking, the selling, etc., is really important to connect with something really deeply. Because when you feel why you're doing what you're doing, why you're speaking about yourself or your product or your music, why you're doing that, and you really understand the connection to it and feel it, then other people will feel it. And of course, we fear being perceived as arrogant because it's something that is, really icky. It's what really gives sales a bad name, when people feel that ickiness about it. And what I normally say to people is, well, if you're not an arrogant person, you won't come across as being arrogant, but it's still, that doesn't make them feel better. So the thing to think about is, if you understand the reason why you are doing what you're doing, and it's not just about the start with the why thing, it's the, what's your purpose? What's your objective? What's the reason for you doing what you're doing? If you've got something that's bigger than you in terms of your reason, your objective, your purpose, your message, then it's much more easy to connect to that. Hey, Rosie, to connect to that in an authentic way, to feel it. People want to feel something, and to be able to connect to your message and then infuse that with the kind of feeling, the love, the purpose, the generosity, the ability to help, because selling is solving, right? If we've got something to say, we want to be able to say that with feeling. We don't want to just be robotic, otherwise what's the point? And the thing about ego is, just as we think it's about not coming across as being arrogant, that thing that we think is ego and arrogance is actually also the thing. Ego is the thing that stops us playing a bigger game. It's the thing that actually wants to keep us playing small. And as I've shared before, this comes up for pretty much everybody, right? If you're trying to play a bigger game, if you're trying to step up and trying to be seen or more visible, when actually the last thing you want is to be visible. And I think, we identify with that. I certainly do. But that's the ego, right? The ego wants us to stay safe. It's there to protect us. One of its jobs is to protect us, keep us safe. And of course, greater exposure means greater risk to us. It's hard to show up and be seen and say something meaningful and feel like it's something that's important when all the voices in our head are saying, nobody cares, nobody wants to hear that. Who are you anyway? And this has come across, a lot. And I say it because, as well, I've just finished a 3-day mindset retreat, virtual retreat, with my business coaches, and it was something that really made a big impact on me yet again, in how you show up, and why it's important that we do. So understand that yeah, it is really difficult, isn't it, Rose? It's really hard to do it. And yet that's what our soul wants, is for us to show up and say the things that need to be said, to be the thing that needs to express why we're here and what we're doing here and what our purpose is. And if we can be brave enough to show up, just like, you know, our mentor Fabienne Fredrickson has done this week in a very powerful way, just like people like Brené Brown, when she talks about being in the arena, then people feel that heart, they feel that impact, and it empowers them, it inspires them, just like I feel inspired right now to share that message with you. So if there's something that your heart needs to do, your soul wants to be, you have something to say, you have something to share, and you have something with which to serve, then take a deep breath and jump in anyway, just like I'm doing on these live streams. And actually, I'm feeling better about it. I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm feeling that my comfort zone is expanding, that I feel less in an excruciating place when I'm doing this. And whether it's good or not is kind of not the point. We transmit more than our words when we show up. Our spirit shines through, and our the vibration, the tonality of our voices comes through too. So I have received massive permission this week. Not that I needed it, but again, it's affirmed it, to shine our lights. And thank you for that. And you don't need permission either, but you have it anyway. Give that to yourself to shine and show up, and just keep doing it, because it does get easier. So I hope you go into your weekend feeling that you've accomplished something. And if you still feel like there's that last thing to do this before the weekends, you've still got a few hours. And whatever you're trying to do, then make sure you also take care of yourself. Give yourself some space to recuperate and relax and restore, which is always my Friday message. So have a really good weekend. Thank you very much. And same to you too. And I will speak to you on Monday. And if you've got any feedback, any questions, any thoughts, please do share them with us. And I will do my best to help in whatever way I can. Have a really good weekend. Bye, guys.